Hi everybody, hope you are having a great day. I am here again with yet another equation for you. We talked about an equation, y equals mx plus b, and you remember that formula, right? Y equals mx plus b is something that everybody remembers. It's something that's stuck in your mind that you have in there forever. This one, on the other hand, might be a brand new formula for you, or it might be something that's you have not heard yet, or something that just doesn't stick as much, but we need it to stick. You're going to see this formula also a lot this year in algebra. This formula is called point-slope form. So it's a little bit longer, but just like y equals mx plus b was called slope-intercept, and inside that formula it had a slope and an intercept, point slope has two different things in it too. What do you think it has? Let's look at the name. The first thing that this formula is going to have in it is a point, right? And a point, remember, is an x coordinate, comma, a y coordinate. That is what a point looks like. And specifically when you put points into a formula, just like when we're putting points into our slope formula, we say it's the x1 and the y1. The second thing that point slope has is exactly what's written here, slope. And we know the variable that represents slope is always m. And that's what I'm most importantly worried about in this video, is that you can find that m of these formulas, or finding slope. That's all we're talking about is the slope. So it's good to know it has a point, and this x1 and y1 are those values from that point that you will substitute into this formula. When later on we start writing our own formulas, you're going to have to know how to substitute that x1 and y1. For now though, we are really looking at this letter right here, this variable m, and knowing that that is slope. So if there was a number there, that would represent our slope. So by the end of this video, I should be able to give you an equation and you tell me what the slope is. So I'm going to give you a pretty easy one here to start off with. I'm going to do it in pink. I'm going to start off pretty in pink, okay? Let's do this formula. Y minus 3 equals 1/2 parentheses x minus 4. Pretty simple formula. So first thing is you're going to look at this formula and you're going to say, does this look like y equals mx plus b? Or does this look like y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1? I think it looks like this long one, right? I see parentheses in there. I think it looks like point slope. I'm going to write that formula below it. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. The more you write these formulas, the easier it'll become to your memory, so write it every time. What's the slope here? Just by seeing that formula lined up like that, can you tell me what the slope is? Remember, m is slope, so this number is lined up where m is. So in this formula, my m, or my slope, is 1/2. That's my answer. Easy as that, no trick questions, right? My slope would be 1/2. I'm going to switch colors here. I'm going to give you a different question. Let's look at this formula. Y equals x plus 7. Let's look at that one. So first question, let's ask ourselves, does this look like y equals mx plus b? Or does this look like y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1? Well, for starters, I don't see any parentheses, so that's kind of a hint to me that it does not look like this one, right? It doesn't look like point slope. It looks like y equals mx plus b. Pretty close, right? I tricked you there. I brought back one of the old ones. It is y equals mx plus b, so just by looking at this, you should be able to tell me what the slope is, right? The m lines up right here. Remember, the slope is not x. What number is right there in front of x? What number can I put there in place? There's that golden number, a 1. So here, my answer, my slope would be 1. So I kind of went back to an old equation there, right? Y equals mx plus b. We cannot forget about it. It's just as simple, though. I'm going to give you another equation. What if I gave you, I'm going to draw right over here in blue, y plus 5 equals -2 parentheses x minus 4. Well, ask yourself, is it y equals mx plus b? Is it slope-intercept? Or is it point-slope? I think it's point-slope, so I'm going to write that formula right under it just to make sure. Parentheses x minus x1. Sure enough, it lines up. What my slope is here is right where that m lines up. Here, my answer, my slope is -2. Now remember, it doesn't have to be a fraction to be slope. I like slopes as fraction because if I just saw -2, that's telling me how much I rise. How much do I run though? There's nothing on the bottom. So you can always draw that line and put a 1 at the bottom, right? There's always an imaginary 1 there. So you can say your answer is -2 or -2/1. Either way is perfectly acceptable. Either way is fine. I got one last one for you. Remember, these are just pretty straightforward. There's not really a trick to it here. So my last formula for you is y plus 7 equals parentheses x minus 8. Okay, I see some parentheses here, so I'm thinking it's point slope. I'm going to write point slope form right under it. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Let's look at that. Something's a little off, right? y1. The m is right here, but when I line it up, there is no number right there in front of the parentheses. So what's that imaginary number that I could put right there? It's not a 0. What's that placeholder that I put there? A 1. So again, here, my slope is 1. And again, you can leave it as just 1, or you can put it over that 1, whichever, a fraction or a whole number is fine with me. That is how we can determine the slope given the point slope form. So I hope now that if you see any type of y equals mx plus b, or y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1, you can line it up with that formula and tell me what the slope is. Now I do want to leave you with the thinking question, so I'm going to write a formula here, and let's do it in pretty green. So this green formula here is going to say 2x plus 3y equals 15. This one right here that I'm bubbling in, that is what I'm leaving you with here for your thinking question. I am not solving it with you, and you don't have to solve it, but think about this question. Does that one look like slope-intercept? Does it look like point-slope? It doesn't look like either one. There's going to be a third formula that we're going to talk about, but even before we get to that formula, could you think about this question and how could you find the slope? Is there a way that you could take this formula and rearrange the pieces, right? Almost like you're putting it in a blender, but you're doing math, right? A math blender. You can mix up all those pieces and get it to look like y equals mx plus b. Could we get it to look like that so I could just find the slope? I wonder. And I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about that in one of the upcoming videos. So keep that in your mind. Make sure that you can find slope from a point slope formula, and then keep on with your hard work. We are so impressed with you.